Hey folks, Eric with mobilemusthave.com, and today we're going to be talking about the Starlink Mini and some mounts that we have available that just came in. They're pretty cool. Come along with us, I'll tell you all about them. Hey folks, thanks for joining us. We've got a bunch of different mounts to talk about today. You might be wondering what this big pole is. We actually source these overseas. These are made out of like a fiberglass, a carbon fiberglass that makes them insanely strong and insanely lightweight. This one I believe is 25 feet. We specifically made this with really kind of four kind of components, but three extendable sections, and all out of stainless steel hardware. And the units you can actually run the cables right through these, and there's a removable lower part here if any water gets in there, so you can drain it, or you can drill a hole in here and add a drain, or have a wire go right through it. But we've sold hundreds of these, and everybody who gets their hands on them loves them. But it's kind of been a little bit of a secret on our website because we only did one video about them and didn't talk about them a bunch. But with the Starlink Mini specifically, this bracket is included with the Starlink Mini, and it's got a pole mount option right on it. And if you go ahead and just tighten that up, you're done. That's it. So our carbon pole here works really well with the Starlink Mini. And if you have a Gen 3, we actually have a kit that gives you a pole mount option as well, but we'll talk about that in a different video. But message us if that's what you're looking for. This pole has optional suction mounts and ladder mounts that come with it optionally, that are made out of aluminum, that are very strong. It's actually been the go-to setup for Chris and Cherie at the Mobile Internet Resource Center for their the Trivago, the Winnebago small 19 foot van that they have. This has been kind of basically on the back of their van for I think 2+ years, and they love it, at least a year. It's been a great kit for them, and it's very easy to put up and down and super light. So that's a great pole option. Let's move on to the fixed mount roof options. Okay, so moving on, here's our Starlink Mini. Now, we've got separate videos on this, but this is our Trio speed mount. This is an absolutely great kit if you are looking to mount this with magnets. Technically, you could VHB mount this down, but it'd be very hard to then get it off and service it. So we typically see folks use the magnet mounts here with the speed mount, and that basically gives you something that you can operate at pretty high speeds, you know, obviously within legal speed limits, and this is low profile, stays to the ground, has access ports where the cables can come out aside, and works really well with this on a metal roof application. We'll link to that, but that's not really what today's video is, so I'm actually going to just take this off, and then we're going to talk about some of our fixed mounts that can give you a bit of a cleaner install and save you some money. These are very low cost mounts. Our Starlink Mini has been freed. All right, so this, in its infinite glory, this is it. This is our fixed mount installation mount for the Starlink Mini. Now, one thing you'll notice here is, and you'll see a lot of copies of this, very, very similar copies to this on eBay, although ours is really not any more expensive. It might even be the same price or less. But we're making this out of very high quality aluminum, and then we're powder coating this as well. So you're really not going to have any issues with corrosion with this. I've seen some of the ones that are on Amazon. They rust. So that's something to just be aware of. We tested a bunch thinking, like, is this even something we want to carry if these are all over the place? But we found that there were some manufacturer issues or just poor powder coating and a lot of other things. This is really OEM quality right to the end. This is pretty much what you would get if you bought it direct from Starlink, but we stock it and ship it very quickly. So right there, that mount locks right in, and then the dish would essentially be able to be mounted just like that, straight onto a vehicle application, onto a roof. Moving on to what you see in the box here, you've got the mount here in the powder coat, all in aluminum as mentioned. You've got 3 different set sizes of stainless steel mounting hardware, some flat washers, some nylon locking nuts, and some rubber washers for sealing your holes. You've also got a tube of RTV marine grade sealant and an applicator tip here as well to seal up your installation. Now, this is sort of the go-to way that Starlink has done most of their roof kits, with the silicone installation method that way. If I were going to be installing this in an RV, I would go with die self-leveling sealant, anything other than a metal roof application. On my ATC, I would probably use the silicone because that roof is not flexing very much. With RVs, if you're walking on them or just the heat and the sun is moving stuff around a lot, the self-leveling lap sealant that the manufacturers use on those roofs is much more forgiving in hot and cold temperatures to prevent leakage. So it's an option at checkout for us on this listing page if you want to pick up a tube of self-leveling sealant. And then you would just use some self-tapping screws. Probably I would recommend like an 1.25" type screw just to make sure it gets enough bite into the roof to securely mount this down on the roof. Now it's hard for me to show you here, but with this locked into place, you do have access to the release lever right here. It's hard for me to grab it and release it because the mount's not secured down, so I have nothing to pull against. But you would essentially, just so you can see it, you'd be pulling up on this metal here and it would just release nice and easy that way. So it is still, even though this will install and be really kind of permanently installed on the roof, it is still removable, meaning you can grab your dish and go. It's a great kit. It's under 50 bucks, and we love it. It's good quality, and it gets the job done if you're not looking for something more expensive that gives you a little bit more portability for multiple vehicle applications. Next, we're going to talk about our ladder mount application. Let me get set up here. We'll do a little fast forward for you, and you can check that out next. All right, thanks for bearing with me while I unboxed everything. And essentially, this is designed to mount to a tube, usually a ladder tube, and it can be mounted either to a vertical tube or a horizontal tube, depending on what's best for your vehicle application. This could also work with roof racks if necessary. So it's something to be in mind, but typically with these types of installation mounts, this would be like I wouldn't recommend you driving with these mounts, although it's probably fine and you could, but you really want to just kind of verify that that's not going to cause any height issues. Make sure you're always below 13.6 in your installation height, but also just the included adapter here that came with the Starlink that is utilized with the Starlink Mini is made out of plastic, and I don't believe it's made for in-motion use. You may want to check out that fixed mount if you want to use it in motion. This kit's all metal. It's all, again, just like the last kit, all anodized aluminum with stainless steel hardware. It's really not going to have any problem. It's just this mount that it reutilizes. I would just, be aware of it potentially being something that isn't designed for, highway speeds. So how does this kit really work? Well, this mount here goes onto your existing ladder or pole, and it can, as you can see there, it can actually go either in this direction or this direction, meaning vertical or horizontal. And in our listing page, it'll talk about the maximum and minimum diameter of what you can attach to, but it's more than small enough for a ladder on any RV I've ever seen, and then can go quite a bit up from there to what looks like even like almost like a 1.5, possibly 2-inch size pole. You could technically use this to mount to our fiberglass poles, but I just don't think you need it since you could just go without that. So from here, you're going to go ahead and attach this device that's going to hold it. And again, all of the hardware is stainless and it's all included. And I'll show you a picture of kind of what the finished product looks like, as you can see there. But in all of our finished product artwork, you'll see that they've attached this 9-inch optional extension pole here to most of what you see there. And you may be thinking, well, that's going to be too tall, or it's just not going to be the look that I'm looking for my installation. This is fully optional. So you can take this off and you can just mount directly using the Starlink included mount right onto this, just like that. So that's an option as well if you don't want to use this extension, but you can go with kind of either setup. Another nice feature of the kit is it's got cable routing entry points, so you can actually route the cables from the dish down through this extension. That'll only work if you're using the extension. I don't really think you'd need it if you weren't using the extension, and that gives you the benefit of having the cables come out the bottom of the mount for just a little bit of a cleaner and a sleeker look. The kit includes everything you see here, so you have all of the various stainless mounting hardware, including various bolt sizes options for different pole sizes. There's quite a bit here. Installation, kind of quick start instructions, as well as 3 Allen wrenches included for the various sizes of bolts that are included in the kit, really giving you everything you need. Again, This is aluminum that's been powder coated. This one we did in a gloss finish. Looks kind of a little bit different than the matte finish, but the same net effect in that you get that weatherproofing, and you're not going to be dealing with corrosion with your mounts for years to come. Next, we're going to talk about a roof rack mount here. Give me a second to put all these other screws away, and we'll get into that next. All right, so this one's pretty cool. So if you have a roof rack on a vehicle that doesn't have sort of round, braces or brackets between the two sides of the vehicle, which is most roof racks, they kind of have sort of an odd shaped, sort of longer, flatter thing to hold things like canoes and whatever else you want to put up on your vehicle. This is really designed for that type of vehicle. Now, what's happened with this mount, this is a pretty cool design here, is first of all, same thing, all anodized aluminum. The only thing that's plastic on here are the handles for the quick releases. That's about it, but everything's structural, including all the bolts, the metal, everything related to the bracket, and the screws themselves are all going to be metal. So how this works really is this has got a quick release on it there, and then this can be turned in either direction. That's for a smaller attachment, or if you want a larger, you go this way and lock it in that way, and it'll give you a universal fit mount to fit on just about any single factory installed roof rack that I can think of in a really cool application and fit. So once you'd secured this up to your roof rack and it was locked in place, this would allow you to basically take the mini dish from there and lock that into place just like that. And that would hold that in a configuration that would work for use on a roof rack. I would consider this acceptable for in-motion use based on its all-metal design. Now, just make sure you point the front of the dish down towards the front of the vehicle for optimal wind and water protection. But it's a really cool looking mount that can work pretty well for you. These are on pre-order as the time of this filming, but check the listing page, and that'll give you another option for mounting your Starlink Mini. This mount, as with any mount, you can always reach out to us if you have any questions. Reach out to us at info@mobilemusthave.com, or hop over to mobilemusthave.com, start up a chat in the bottom right hand corner with one of our team members. You can also give us a ring. Our phone number is on our website right there at the top, and you can also schedule a consultation if you don't like hold times by reaching out to us at talk.mobilemusthave.com. And then you can schedule a consultation at a mutually agreed time with one of our experts to talk about all of our various solutions. Additionally, I recommend you check out our membership discounts. These mounts are all eligible for membership discounts at membership.mobilemusthave.com. That gets you access to the Mobile Internet Resource Center. That gives you access to our Peplink Resource Center. That gives you access to our Starlink Resource Center. And it gives you discounts, upgraded 2-day shipping, and a whole host of other benefits. Big stuff like this, you get advanced replacement, all kinds of cool stuff, really cool. So make sure you check that out. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching our Starlink Mini Mount video, and we'll see you on the road.